Hello guys, welcome to Sew with Carissa. If this is the first time you see my page, you're welcome to my channel. And if you're also a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for sticking with me. So in today's video, we'll be making this trendy beautiful gown with shoulder ruffle. This dress was made for a 10-year-old girl. If it's something you're interested in, please watch to the end. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. So let's jump right into the video. So first of all, we're going to do our starting line. I'm using a doll face material. So once we're done drawing our starting line, then we'll take our half length measurement. For as I said earlier, the dress is made for a 10-year-old. So our half length is 13 inches. That is from our shoulder to our navel, which is the half length is 13 inches. I'm going to pick up my pattern ruler and roll that out. And then actually it's 12 inches. I added 1 inch for allowance. So for the back measurement is 12 divided by 2 is 6, and our armhole is 6 inches. From the shoulder to the armhole is 6 inches as well. So I'm going to also use my pattern ruler to draw that out. And the next thing we're going to do is to determine the shoulder slope, which is half an inch, and then the neck width and the neck depth, which is 2.5 for the neck width and then 3 inches for the neck depth. So I'm going to take my pattern ruler to also curve that out, and then I will join the shoulder slope. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to determine the bust measurement. So the bust measurement is 26. 26 divided by 2, then 26 divided by 4 is 6.5. So I already indicated that on the fabric, and then I'm going to have 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. And also after adding 1.5 inches, I will add half an inch for ease. So for the waist measurement is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 6. 6 divided by is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I'm using my table to divide that, as you can see. So it's easier you use your table so you get accurate measurement. So I'm using 6 inches, and I'm also adding 1.5 inches for sewing allowance, and then half an inch for ease. And I'm going to join the lines together. Once I'm done with that, I'll go to the armhole area and also join my cuff to the armhole line. Then I would add half an inch for the shoulder slope, and then I'll pick up my pattern ruler and roll that out. So once I'm done with that, the next thing we're going to do is to determine the v-neck in front of the dress, which are the transparent tool, that is the skin tool. So from my neck depth, I went in with 3 inches, and then from the next from the folded area, I went in by 1 inch. So I just use my ruler to make like a v-neck from that point, and you're going to understand later when we start cutting. So the next thing, we're done with the front part. The next thing is to cut it out. So I'm going to cut from the armhole area and the side down to the half length. Once I'm done with that, and this is what we have, and then I'll go ahead to also measure out the back part. So for the back part, all you need to do is just to place the front part on your folded fabric, and then as you can see, I am trying to determine the zipper allowance. So for the zipper allowance, I'm using 1 inch for my zipper allowance, which I already indicated there. And so I'm just going to use my scissors to trim it out. That's all I'm going to do before cutting out the neck depth and the neck width. So for correction, the neck width is 3 inches and the neck depth is 3 inches from the front part. I made a mistake. So for the neck depth for the back, I'm using 1 inch. So and that is what you see. I'm struggling with my pattern ruler to make a curve. So I just use my free hand instead. So it's 1 inch for the back, and then I'm just going to cut that out and also trim out the shoulder slope. And then you have to be very careful. I trim out the front part neck, and then I open up my zipper allowance for the back part, and also trim out the v neck. So this particular part I already trim out, I'm going to keep it aside, and that is what I am going to use to cut out my skin net, and I am going to replace it back. This is my skin net, so I'm going to cut that out and then I'll replace it back. So this is how the front part is going to look, and once I join the skin net, this is how it's going to look. So I'm just going to sew it down like that once I join it. So I'm going to show you when I'm doing that. So this is I'm using an organdy material for the down parts, for the skirt part. So for the organdy material, the length of the dress is 46 inches, and so I'm going to from the half length, which is 12 inches, down to 46 inches plus 1 inch, that's 47 inches. I already cut that out on my net as well, which is my two nets, which I'm going to put under the organdy. And then I also have taffeta for the underneath to underlay the skirt part as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to I want to line my front part, so I'm going to use an interfacing. So it depends on the interfacing you want to use. I just want to stabilize the fabric, so you can use your hair stay, you can use your paper stay. It depends on how comfortable or the your budget. So I'm using a paper stay, so I already cut that out. I'm just going to take that to the ironing table and then I'm going to iron it. It's just to stabilize the fabric, nothing more. You can do without it as well. So I'm using my pin to secure the paper seal on the fabric. So the next thing I'll do is to take that to the ironing table and iron that out. So as you can see, I have cut out my skin net for the front part of the dress. That's for the v-neck, to replace the v-neck. I cut out uh, two different types of it, which I'm going to use for the lining and also for the main fabric. So this is what I've done. I sew it and then I turn it over, and I also sew the side, so it can be easier for me to attach to the front part of the dress, as you can see. So the next thing is to attach it to the dress. I'm using my pin to secure it to the fabric, so I'll just take it to the sewing machine, and then once I'm done using my pin to secure it, you're going to see the outcome. I'll take it to the sewing machine and then I'm going to sew it out. I will repeat the same process on the lining as well. So once I'm done, we're going to see how. So this is it, we're done joining it, and I also joined the lining as well, and this is how it looks like. So I intentionally join it from the middle down like a dart. So the next thing we're going to do is to join our back part, which is the back of the dress, by the shoulder to the front part of the this is the main fabric, this is not the lining. So this is how we're going to join the shoulder, and then we'll take it to the sewing machine, and then we'll use 1 inch, half an inch to sew it. For the same, we'll put the same process for the lining as well. So you join it by the shoulder, take it to the sewing machine and use half an inch to sew it, and this is how it looks like. This is for the lining. I've joined the shoulder, I open up the shoulder parts and I ironed it out, and this is the main fabric. So the next thing we're going to do is to place our lining part and our main fabric on each other. By the neck area, we're going to join it around. So what I'm doing is to determine the zipper allowance for the back. I already leave that out. That is the 1 inch. So I'm going to join it at the neck area round, because I'm using an inner sewing for this particular dress. So this is what you see me doing, and this is how you do your inner sewing. You're going to place the fabric and the lining together at the neck area. You pin it fine, but you will leave out the 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Then you're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew around and stop at the zipper allowance. Then the armhole as well, you will sew it. Once I'm done with that, you will see the outcome. Now we are done joining. We're done joining the shoulder round and then the armhole. So you pick up your scissors and then you're going to notch it. You're going to notch it round, so that when you turn it over, it will not be bulky, the sewing area. So you're going to notch that round. You have to be very careful so you don't cut the sewing line when you're notching it. And then you repeat the same process for the armhole as well. So once you're done joining, notching it, you put your hand from the front part, as you can see what I'm doing, then you will drag in the back parts to turn it inside out. So I've done for the first side, and then I'll repeat the same process to the other side. You will dip your hand, and then you see what I'm doing, and then you just drag it out like that. So we have turned it inside out. We'll take that to the sewing machine. You can see it now. We take it to the sewing machine, and then we're going to iron it out. So we are done joining the neck area and the armhole area. Easy peasy. So what we're doing right now is to take it to the to the ironing table, and then we'll give it a good press, and this is how it's going to look like once you're done with that. So the next thing is to join the side. So you're going to pick the two sides, so we're going to join the main fabric together by the side, and also the lining by the side. So as you can see me doing here, I've joined the front part and the back parts of the main part, not the lining. This is the main, the front part, and then I'm also joining the lining. So I'm picking one side of the back to more to the right side of the back to the right side of the front, and then the left side of the back to the left side of the front. So I'm going to determine my bust measurement here. As you remember, we use 1.5 inches for our sewing allowance, so I'm just going to remove that out, and then you can see that we have our 12 inches, and then 12.5 inches, and then our half an inch for ease. So I'll repeat the same process for the waist as well. You remove the 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. That's all you have to do. And when you measure out the measurement, you see that it's correct, because we added half an inch for ease as well. So as you can see, so we already remove our 1.5 inches, so we have our accurate measurements. We also repeat the same process for the lining as well. We'll remove our half an inch for the bust, and also for the waist area. That's all we have to do, and then we're going to join the lines together. So once you're done with that, you pick up your pattern ruler, and then you join the line for the lining, and also for the main fabric. So this is what you see me doing here. I'm joining the lines together. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and then I'm just going to join it straight. So I'm done joining it together, and this is how it looks like. I've joined it together, the lines. So from where the shoulder area, that's the armhole area, you're going to notch that out. That is where you join the lining and the main fabric. You're going to notch that out, so that when you turn it over, it will not be too bulky. As you can see that armhole area is not too bulky, because I've already notched it out. So um what we're going to do is to open it up, the stitch area, you open it up like so. You take it to the sewing to the ironing table, and then you give it a good press like so. And that is what you see me doing here. I am ironing it out. So once I am done with the with giving it a good press, so you open it up like this, you iron it as well, so it will give it a very neat finishing once you're done. And that is what and also the armhole area, I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to iron it as well. So once you're done with that, you will see that it will give it a very nice and neat finishing. Very nice and neat finishing. And this is what we have. Also, we're done with the front part, with the upper part. That's the blouse part of the dress. We're done with that. So I'm trying to iron it out so you can see it clearly. And this is what we have. You can see how neat this is looking, very neat and precise. And that is how you join your upper parts of the dress. So the next thing we're going to do is to join the lower parts of the dress. So you can see this is how you do your inner sewing. This is how you join your inner sewing. So this is the organdy material. What I'm attaching to the tip, that is the down part, is a crinoline, like a 2-inch crinoline. I'm sorry it's off the camera. I'm going to attach it around the bottom part so to stabilize the skirt, and I will also gather the skirt part. This is the organdy. I have gathered it, and this is how I join the quinola. As you can see, I'm just going to join it. You're going to join it. If you need the video and a proper explanation on how to do that, I'm also going to post it. And this is also my two net. I've already gathered it as well. Then my taffeta, I already gathered that as well, which is going to be underneath the two nets. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to arrange that on the skirt part. So this is my upper part, which we already joined and we have ironed it out. So this is how you're going to lay your skirt part on the upper part. The first thing you're going to lay is going to be the organdy material. That's the organdy part of the skirt. So the first is going to be the organdy. You see I've gathered it, so you're going to draw your gathers for the till it gets to the exact measurement of the round, that's the waist, and then the zipper allowance. So after placing your organdy, the next one is going to be the two nets and then the taffeta. So that is how you're going to place it on the main part of the dress, not the lining part. So these ones are going to be placed on the main part. So I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and I'm going to join that. And this is the lining. For the lining, the skirt part for the lining, I already attached my hard net. I already gathered it as well. So this one will also, this is a, see, as you can see, I've joined the other. You're going to see it clearly later. So this one is going to be attached to the lining part. So this is going to be attached to the lining part. Then once I'm done with that, you're going to see the how it's going to look like. So now we've attached it. This is the inside, and then I'm going to switch it over and then you will see it. This is after I've attached it, and this is the other side of the dress, and this is where the organdy, the main part of the dress, I've also attached the. So as you can see now, the next thing we're going to do is to fix the zipper for the dress. So I'm going to uh pick up the main fabric part, which is the front part. I'm going to uh, pin it together at the waist area. That is where the skirt part starts from. That is where I'm going to join it together, and then I'm going to use my pin to secure that part so that when I'm fixing the zip, it will not overlay each other. So you see, I'm going to trim out the bulky parts of the joining of the skirt to the waist area, and then I'll take my time to arrange the skirt part together as well. So that is what you see me doing here. I'm trying to trim out the excesses, the threads, and then I'm going to pick it and then join it together with my pin. I'm going to secure it with my pin, and then I will join the organdy, the two nets, and the taffeta. I will arrange it properly, and then I would measure for my waist. That is where the skirt joining starts from. I'm going to measure down. I'm going to measure 4 inches down. So that is what I'm trying to do. You can see here, you measure 4 inches down from that waist area. That 4 inches, then you're going to sew down. You will leave it open from the beginning of the blouse to that 4 inches, and from that 4 inches down, you're going to sew down. You're going to join it together till you reach the end of the skirt. So the upper part will be open. That is where we need to fix the zip. You repeat the same process for the lining as well. So once you're done with that, the next thing is to cut the ruffles that we're going to place on the shoulder of the dress. That ruffle that you see on the shoulder of the dress. So we're going to fold our fabric into four, which I've already done. And the length we're working with is 44 inches. I folded it again into two, and then we have 22 inches. That's the length, and the width is 8 inches. plus 1 inch is 9 inches. So what you see me doing there, I am taking 3 inches from the folded part, and then I'm just going to give it a curve straight like that. I'm going to join the line from that 3 inches to the last part of the fabric to make like a curve. So I'm going to trim that out. It's very easy. You can do it anyhow you want it. You can, once I'm done cutting it out, the next thing is to open it up. We have two pieces of this for the right and the left shoulder. So the next thing is to cut another fabric. We're going to fold this one into two as well. We're going to fold it like so. So we have to, I'm cutting the right and the left shoulder as well. So I'm going to measure out 14 inches for the length. I'm going to take out 14 inches, and for the width I'm going to do 2.5 inches. It's going to be actually 2 inches, but half inch to join it together. So once I'm done with that, I don't need to curve it. I'm just going to cut it straight out. Then I'm just going to trim it out like so. So once I'm done trimming, and then this is what we have after trimming it out. So we have two pieces of this. So we're going to take it to the sewing machine. I'll fold it like so, and then I'll join it. And also for this one that is 44 inches long, I'm going to also join it like this and sew it. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and join it. And this is when I was fixing the applique on the front part, the one that you saw as a design. This is what I'm using my E7000 to join the applique. I got the applique from Oshodi Market, and it's 1.5 per yard. So it depends on the type of applique. You can go for the rhinestone, you can go for the cup chain, you can go for cup chain, you can as well go for the sequence thread. It depends on the one you want. So this is, I'm done joining it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert that 14 inches that I cut out inside, because I've joined it together. So you're going to use your pin to insert that 14 inches rope inside the 44 inches rope. So you're going to insert it as if you're trying to insert an elastic, but you are using the rope in form of elastic. So you're going to insert the 44 inches long. This is after I've joined it together, I've ironed it inside out. So you're going to use, you can use your pin or you can just use your hand and just insert the rope. So so here I'm using my pin. So I've inserted the rope. I will take it to the sewing machine, I will join it, and this is what we have after bringing out the rope. So you can see that it's now 44 inches long, and it has formed the ruffles that way. Depends on how you want. If you want it to be very ruffled, you can as well reduce the length of the rope, but this is how I want mine to look. So, and then I'll repeat the same process for the other parts, and this is how it's going to look when you're doing attaching it. You can use your thread, needle and thread, to attach it to the shoulder, and you can use your gum. You can also use your your glue gun. You can use that as well. And this is what we have after joining it. Just take that to your ironing table, iron it out, and that is how you make this beautiful dress. If you've watched my video up to this moment, please do not forget to like, subscribe, or share. Also drop your comments, and if you want me to make any other video tutorial, also drop it in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.